Man, Tchaikovsky really had some interesting ideas for novellas. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about Elder Race by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which is my second novella that I have read from this author. The other one being in Put Away Childish Things, which was more so on the fantasy side, I would say. This is obviously on the sci-fi side. And I've still yet to read a full-length novel from Tchaikovsky, although I'm very interested too. These are just ones that I ended up reading, and I remember hearing a lot about this one, and it sounded like a lot of fun. And well, I don't feel like I was quite as high on this as I know some people have been. I think the idea is really interesting, and I thought this was pretty good. And Elder Race is exploring. We have Linus, who is fourth daughter of a queen, and she's going because her ancestors struck a bargain with a sorcerer, and if somebody of her bloodline were to come and call in a favor, basically they would help. And so she's going on this quest to the sorcerer's tower, which is kind of where we start. And the sorcerer is actually an anthropologist from a more scientifically sound people who was put there and is supposed to be observing and kind of watching over time. And they just think he's a wizard, basically, because of the technology. And so, really interesting idea. And there are some kind of fun bits and things happening here. And, you know, like where he has automated defenses and attacks somebody and they think that it's a curse and, you know, things like that. And there's part of the conceit, too, is that he has something that's translating for him, but because the language just doesn't, some words just don't translate from his language to theirs, he'll try and be like, I'm not a wizard, I'm a scientist, and it'll end up translating to like, I'm not a wizard, I'm a sorcerer, or like something like that effect. So it's just kind of, he can't explain. And so despite, I feel like the room that brings for humor and like fun things like that, that's the thing I found the most lacking with this. Well, I thought the ideas were really interesting, and actually, like, the character journeys I thought were they were way more fleshed out and developed than I would have expected in a shorter novella, where we're going and we're exploring the bits of the world and the things we find out. Like, there's a lot of really good things here. So that's kind of just like subjectively based on the premise. I would have liked more humor and a more humorous approach, which I think you really could have done. Granted, though, I mean that's also been done in other areas too. So I don't really necessarily fault Tchaikovsky for not doing that. That was just kind of my personal preference. I found myself a little bit disappointed there, but overall, I just found the writing really really engaging and what was actually happening. And so the anthropologist or wizard, whichever way you want to put it, near is there, and we find out more about him. And he was on this posting, and he's not actually immortal, but just basically has been in like sort of like some sort of cryo sleep, and then it just wakes up to do things because he's waiting for his people to come back, basically, but he has no idea if they're actually going to at this point. And that's kind of where he's coming from. And he's not really supposed to get involved at all, but he had gotten involved with the Linus's ancestor, and so now she's coming in and invoking like the blood oath, and which just basically he was trying to get her ancestor to come back and see him again. And so it's just kind of that juxtaposition is still there. But there's apparently a demon that's like terrorizing a part of the world, and that's what she's coming to him for help. Although he's like, there's no such thing as demons. It's probably just some misunderstanding. And so they end up traveling together, though, and we get to see some of the world and have the explanations and have the character journeys and see kind of him coming to terms with some stuff, but also Linus coming to terms with being able to do maybe more than she thinks she can do as just the fourth daughter and that type of thing. And there's a little bit of a parallel, and actually the term and Put Away Childish Things is in here as well. So I thought that was interesting that you have that little bit of a parallel, because that part of the theme is that she's looked at as like immature because she's not willing to put away her ideas of like, going on a quest to find the wizard and do this thing, even though these things are somewhat technically real. It's deemed childish. And so I thought it was interesting having that symmetry there and going through. I do find Near sometimes just seems to wax poetic a bit and just go on and on about talking about how he's not a very good anthropologist and this, that. And the thing, too, is The other thing that, like, for me was just like made it slightly less engaging is the character of Nier. When he talks about being an anthropologist and not being a very good one, and like his reports, all of those bits reminded me a bit of the style in KJ Parker's Siege trilogy with those characters, and I liked the way KJ Parker did that particular style just a little bit more. So it was just one of those things where, like, I really like the elements that are being explored here, and it seems like Tchaikovsky is very much an ideas kind of author, where he likes to explore really interesting ideas, try out these different things, and really experiment. And so that makes sense. And so I think the ideas are really sound, but just execution wise, this one had some things that I thought could have been a little bit better. Although I still enjoyed it, I still thought it was an engaging read, and I had fun overall. And I'm still really excited to try some full length Tchaikovsky. So with that, let me know what you think I should try first. I've heard lots of answers on this, but let me know in the comments whether some of it's fantasy, some of it's sci-fi. I know he's got a ton of books, and there are quite a few I'm interested in, so definitely let me know your recommendation. But overall, those are my thoughts on Elder Race. So let me know your thoughts on this and or which one I should read next. But otherwise, that's it for this one. So make sure to give the video a like. As always, if you enjoyed it, check the links in the description for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether this book, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.